With the new leaks of JJK coming out, it would be completely idiotic for me to not cover them, especially within the new events and information that have been revealed to us. So stick with me as I analyze the events of the best new gen of all time, and please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. The chapter starts off with a picture of Gojo within his newfound home, the Prison Realm, and the chapter's name is Self-Purifying Binding. We immediately kick things into high gear with the goat Kenjaku talking to Kogane as he tries to add a new rule, preventing anyone new to enter the Culling Games. Kogane rejects the idea twice, and Kenjaku begins to explain some backstory about Tengen and how he set up all the barriers. We learn that Tengen has placed multiple barriers, reducing the creation of cursed spirits, as well as supporting barriers to help strengthen barrier techniques. This whole thing is giving us a bit of foreshadowing that when things actually reach their boiling point, all of Japan is going to be thrown into chaos, and maybe they're going to be forced into all turning into sorcerers to fight against the curses that pull up. My reasoning for this is that, though it's unlikely, we know that people like Yuji, etc. are able to view curses in life or death situations and unconsciously challenge their cursed energy, so they're able to fight curses. So maybe the same thing might happen soon, but I don't really know. After a bit of exposition on barrier techniques, we learned that Tengen was the real master of the Culling Games, and we learned that if Tengen released all of the purifying barriers after the Shibuya incident, that the Culling Games would not have happened. This was confirmed what most people already thought, which is that Tengen is overall a very scummy person or a complete idiot. He chose to sacrifice the lives of hundreds if not thousands of people because undoing the barriers would have set the battle against cursed spirits and the know-how of barrier techniques 1,000 years, but does that really matter in the grand scheme of things? Kenjaku then summons Tengen and explains how loads of people would have died if Tengen did that, and explains that Tengen took a bet that Kenjaku, of all people, would lose to Yuki and Choso, which is quite a stupid bet because Kenjaku's him, of course. So now that he has Tengen under his control, and now that Kenjaku holds the title of the strongest barrier user, he explains how it's easy for Tengen to easily destroy his own barriers because he created them. He then threatens Kogane again by saying, add a rule or I will end the Culling Games basically, which would essentially be killing Kogane. Kenjaku basically bullies Kogane into adding more and more rules in his favor through blackmail, and he adds another rule saying that if every member apart from him and Sukuna die, then the Culling Games will end. We then cut to a scene of the mummy of Sukuna, the same one we saw at the very start of the series, and Kenjaku basically says that he's going to take it as a souvenir or take it as a gift to Sukuna basically. Maybe Kenjaku will basically just chuck the mummy at Sukuna and control it into attacking all of the other protagonists to stop them from reaching Sukuna before he gets all of his other fingers, or maybe Sukuna will absorb the mummy and get his full strength back. We don't really know. We next cut to Maki and Ui, however you pronounce his name, are talking about how the new rules flow in their favor basically, and Maki says that it becomes easy now because if they kill Sukuna and Kenjaku, they'd win. Obviously, she's making this sound way easier than it actually is, seeing as she already fought Sukuna and was losing, but hey, that's a story for another day. Another big reveal we get is that the angel is still alive and well, which gives us some hope that Gojo will finally be freed. And if he is freed, I wonder how he'd react to the recent events that have been going on within the manga. Though Hana is not in any condition to fight, this shouldn't affect her curse technique too much, so Gojo coming back is still a very high possibility. We then learn that Amai is the one who saved Hana, and she's currently being healed by Shoko. They ask if the angel can hop from person to person like Sukuna did. However, she says it's impossible and only Sukuna was able to perform such a feat, again proving to us that Sukuna is an anomaly who is beyond the rules. The angel then admits that she can only unseal Gojo, which again is giving me more hope for the future, and it's just Gege dropping more and more hints between the future fight between Gojo and Sukuna, or even a triple threat between Kenjaku, Gojo and Sukuna, and I really hope my video about it was correct about the outcome. After a bit of reconciliation between Ama and Yuji, we then learn that Yuji is basically a cursed item soaked inside Sukuna's cursed energy, so Yuji having Cleave and Dismantle is becoming more and more likely. We then see a conversation between Choso and Yuji, where he basically gives them a book and the rare end of a prison realm, and he makes a really interesting comment about how he's fine as long as Yuji has his brothers living inside of him. This can also imply that Yuji is going to eat the rest of the death paintings and then gain another massive buff and strength, just like Choso did whenever he fought against Kenjaku. And I really hope this happens because Yuji needs a serious versatility upgrade. People still think he loses to Jogo, as hard as that is to believe, because of his versatility. So I really hope Gege disproves all of this one-trick wonder Yuji comments. Shook then begins to comment on how Gojo says that he won't let anyone else be alone, and really just gives us more insight on how much of a lovable and kind character Gojo is. And Yuji again just declares that he will eat anything if he needs to kill Sukuna for him. But that's basically it for the chapter. I think this was like a 10 out of 10, especially for a chapter that's mainly text based and no real much action there. But yeah, if you like this type of videos where I analyze the new chapters, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.